So a lot of the time when you come across an old axe or a handle, it's wrapped up with tape because someone saw a crack at one point and thought that that would be the best way to fix it. I thought it'd be an interesting video to go about how I'm going to try to repair this handle. I'm assuming there's a crack underneath this tape. Um, I haven't got it fully uncovered yet, but the head that was on here, this this Dunlap, it was pretty much seated down as far on the shoulder as there was room for here. So I'll probably put a head on it with a little bit smaller eye, and reuse this, vintage handle. It doesn't look like the handle's super old, but it's got some nice shape to it and feels good. So I think it's at least trying to be worth saving. So you can see so far I've just started soaking it in some, essentially just rubbing alcohol. I'm trying to scrape some of this tape off with a putty knife to try to get at the bare wood underneath it, and we'll kind of see how that goes. So I threw the handle in front of my little space heater just to dry it out a bit. Um, there's a number of cracks in here. Honestly, if I wasn't making a video about this, I don't know if I'd bother saving this handle. It doesn't have any kind of like stamp on it. It doesn't look like it's especially old either. But no, we'll still try to save it. Might as well. Hopefully at least make a good video. But I've got some little nails or tacks stuck in the splits, just to kind of open them up so you can kind of see them and I can show you them a little better. We've got two pretty big ones on the bottom here, and then one right at the back of the shoulder here, and then also one that's running straight down the handle from when they drove the wooden wedge and it was too wide and they didn't have the curve cut deep enough. You can see, the head was seated all the way down to here and they only had the curve cut, a third of the way in, where you really want that cut past, at least 2/3, roughly 2/3 of the way down the tongue. So I think I should be able to get some glue into those cracks and then kind of clamp it up, and then we'll see. I'm not sure if I will try to dowel it also or if I'll just leave it, because there's so many. I don't really want to mess around with doweling it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. See how the glue up comes out. So it's been a few days now, 3 or 4 days. Let the glue dry, get some of these clamps off of here. So we can see, if the camera will focus, you can see that there's a lot of that chipping and cracking. Not really chipping, but that cracking and delamination seems to be holding together now. Looks pretty good for being a beat up handle. You can see some of that cracking in here still, which it's not going to look perfect. I don't think I'm gonna do any dowels on the repair. If it were in a more, a larger handle or something that I really cared about, what I'd end up doing is just taking, the laminations were in this direction, right? You can see the way the growth rings are running. This is run out. That's why this handle broke. So the growth rings are running in, this direction. That's what if you think of it like an arrow, that's the way it's pointing. So that delamination happened when those growth rings lifted away. Someone probably, most likely, you can see the damage here. Someone probably hit something, an overstrike. That force then was translated into the handle, and those growth rings started separating. So that's why, grain orientation is important. It's usually less important in a handle this size, but if you're going to do some overstrikes or really beat on it bad, it becomes more important. So, like I said, if it was a larger handle or one that I cared a little more about, I'd probably end up just taking a small drill bit and drilling some holes perpendicular to where that delamination of the grain is, and going all the way through the handle, probably all the way through, and then putting a wooden dowel in with some more wood glue to kind of stabilize those cracks. But I don't think I'm going to do that for this handle. This is kind of just an example. I'll probably end up just sanding this down or rasping it down and shaping it up. And maybe we'll find a head to put on it at some point. But yeah, I figured it'd be kind of helpful of how to separate those delaminations, get some glue in there, and then clamp it back shut. And in theory, the wood glue should be stronger than the wood itself. In the context of a handle, I don't know. I don't know if it's as flexible as the natural hickory, so maybe it won't stand up to the kind of use or the shock of what's needed, but I think shear force, it ends up being stronger than the hickory. So yeah, shape it up and bring a closer look. So like I said before, I'm not sure if I'll actually hang something on this. This is more for an example. You can see there's still some cracks. Still see some of the gaps from the cracks. And if I were to, if I go to use this, I'll probably mix up some of the sawdust with some wood glue and kind of put it in there as almost like a wood filler or wood putty. But I don't know if I'll end up using this handle. I might. It's not bad. I like the feel of it. I could definitely use it for a template. I don't like that it's got such terrible run out. So we'll see. But either way, it's an example of if you have a vintage handle that is nice and you do want to keep, a good way to try to do a repair, at least a temporary repair, and get it back in service. Thanks for watching.